John, I got one main question for you. Here's my question. What was the pivotal point? What was that moment or that day or that hour that you think right now, thinking back, you made that shift where things started going back? Because I know in the first year of being an entrepreneur, you didn't make much money. And the amount that you made is not significant. I mean, it's almost nothing with the cost and amount of time you put in it. So where was that moment that everything turned?
Well, for me, I've had several, defining moments where things shifted or things changed. And, one of them when I was 17 and I had a heart attack from smoking cocaine. Of course, that was one, that was somebody who convinced me, because I didn't think I was ever coming out of my neighborhood. I didn't have a path, but that person convinced me. He said, I can teach anybody business skills, but he said, I can't teach everybody street smarts. And he actually convinced me, or attempted to convince me, that I actually had an advantage in the world, because I thought, man, you have to be born in the house with the Rolls Royce already in the garage to be successful. Guys like me, my dad's a steel worker. My mom left when we were kids. I didn't think it was even possible, even to think about was out of the question. I wasn't going to be an athlete, any of that type of thing. And for me, business became the way out. So being introduced to personal development set the tone for me. But it was still years, because like I said, then by 24, I had my final, the last time I was arrested, the last time I ever did drugs, 24 years old, and I found myself in a bullpen. It was July 4th weekend, so it was busy, man. I was locked up in a grown man's facility in this big room with a bunch of hardcore criminals. And I wasn't a big enough criminal to get a seat on the bench. I had to sit on the floor for 3 days waiting to go to court. But I'll tell you what happened right there, that everything changed that day, that when I got there, because when I was being let out of my house, when I was being arrested, I had a 2-year-old daughter, and she was screaming, crying. She didn't know exactly what was going on. She just knew the house was in disarray. And I turned back as I'm being let out, and I caught her eyes for just, couldn't have been more than a couple of seconds, but it seemed like a long time. And then when I got into the bullpen, and I'm locked in this facility, I remembered something somebody said to me when I was locked in another facility when I was young. He said, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So for 3.5 days, sitting on that floor, miserable, all that kept going through my head was, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And my daughter, Lauren, her face, it just kept replaying over and over. Here I am, a grown man. I can't even take care of the one child I have. You know what I'm saying? Much less think about my children's children. And it was there on that floor in the bullpen, I made a decision. I would not live like this again. That's who I was. That's not who I'm going to be. And it set me on a path. And it took me almost 7 years from there to crack $100,000 as an entrepreneur. And then when I finally cracked $100,000 in a year, then it really took off. Exponential growth kicked in. The next year was $224,000. And the next thing I know, I'm making a couple $1 million a year. That turned into tens of millions of dollars. But what I'm more excited about is that my team, the people around me, made hundreds of millions of dollars. But it really came from a decision sitting on a floor, locked in a grown man's, what we call the bullpen in Milwaukee County, that changed everything for me, set me on an entirely new path. And trust me, it wasn't easy, man. It was a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of times where I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to go back. Crazy thing is sometimes, even though what wasn't good for me, it for sure wasn't good for me, that environment, but I knew it so well. So it was easy for me to go back. It was easy for me to get sucked back in there because I knew it well. It was my comfort zone. And we all know, you hear all the cliches, there's no growth in your comfort zone. I had to fight my own personality. I fought my demons. I still, to this day, I'm prone to negativity. I'm prone to bad thinking. I get mad and I'm going to, destroy everything. Self-sabotage was like my middle name. And so it took me years and years and years, but it started from that one decision when I was about 24 years old in that bullpen, thanks to my daughter, my Lauren, who's now 26 years old. And she had to go through that whole process with me, and then later on, now today I've got 4 daughters, which really, they became my mentors, man. They became my driving force, the reason why I wanted to get to the next level and then to the next level. And it was never in it. At first it was about success, but I wanted to be successful. I wanted to have money so I can get out of the neighborhood first and foremost. That was my big thing. But then when I started moving forward, it became about significance, which was about others, about adding value to others. Today, now I have it tattooed on my arm. It's about legacy. It's about I want my children's children to know who I was, not the money I leave them. Forget that inheritance. I had a mentor, Jim Rohn, who I was fortunate to do business with many, many years ago, who taught me. He said, it's the empty books that you write in. He said, those are the most important books. He said, of course you got to read books, but he said, start writing in your journal, start creating journals and start writing about who you are. So my kids will know. And if you ask my kids will tell you, my dad is not about money, even though a lot of people know me because of the money and they've seen all the trappings of success. But it's this stuff, man. It's what we're leaving behind. It's what we're teaching. It's that generational type wealth from the mind. So that was
You actually met Jim Rohn?
Yeah, man. I was 20. I was in my early 20s, and I met Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn used to participate. I had a friend who owned a company that would bring speakers in, and I always found a way to go pick these speakers up from the airport or get in the mix somehow. But yeah, we were part of a television network that was actually pumping in Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Zig Ziglar. So I met some of the greats, but they didn't know me later on. It's interesting because later on I started sharing the stage. I had John Maxwell, been on the stage with John Maxwell, and Les Brown and I ended up writing a book called The Power of One. Terrible book, by the way. Don't ever read that. Use it for kindling for your fireplace. But that was, man, 15.
I met Les Brown about a week ago.
Les is a good dude, man.
I met, and he gave one of these speeches. I've seen his speeches, but this was a little bit more chill back, relaxed.
Yeah.
It was City Summit. It was about 300, 400, 500 of us there, and I rushed in to get there, traffic and everything. I got there, and then he was talking, and then for like 15, 20 minutes, I think I forgot to blink. So when he finished his talk, my eyes were like hurting. That's how focused I was. And it was like the funniest thing I've ever done. It was like 4 or 5 people, and I never sit in the back. It was like 4 or 5 people's heads, and I was looking at him through other people's heads, and I was just like, I got the angle so right that I could just see his entire body through a couple of people's heads. It was just like, shame on me. I should have sat in the front. I should have got there earlier, but at least I got to listen to him. Jim Rohn actually is buried. His burial is, I want to say, a couple of 100 yards from my grandpa's burial. He's buried 15 miles from my house.
Wow. Yeah, Jim is.
So that is crazy. I love Jim Rohn. His message still goes on. That guy was like, that's timeless. Crazy.
Timeless.
Crazy.
His message will go forever. Anybody that ever wants to get to the next. He taught Tony Robbins. Think about that. He was Tony Robbins' mentor. So it just carries on, man. How many people are being mentored by Tony Robbins these days? And again, it's that mindset, man. It's once you have it, and Les Brown says, he says, once your mind expands, it can never go back to its original dimensions. And that's the beauty of, look, forget the money. You can lose your money. I've made millions and lost millions, but what you can't take away, you can't take this away. I'm a big mess up, man. I will mess stuff up. There's no question about it. But because I've had so many great mentors and so many great encouragers, I know that I can bounce back. I can, whether you can take that L and you can keep moving forward. So, bounce back is the key, but that comes from personal development. That comes from knowing who you are and what you can deliver. And then it also comes, I have I tattoo now everything on my body. Ego is the enemy because, I'm getting older, so I forget stuff. So I tattoo it on me, but,
that's a nice way of saying it. I love it.
Staying humble, man. It's so hard.
If I had to tattoo everything up, I would be just covered head to toe completely because I forget a lot of stuff. So here, John, I want to ask you a practical way.
Yeah.
So if somebody is watching this right now, today, somehow, some way they watch this at their pivotal moment in their lives, and your recommendation, what would you suggest to them as someone who's gone through a lot of turbulences, challenges, all these different things that made up who you are? So I don't want to say it wasn't, it was meant to be like that, but you decided to change. What are a couple of practical things that individuals could implement today to be on that success path that took you 7 years? What do they have to do? What are the couple of steps that you could recommend?
First for me, mentors are critical. Stuff like this, man. We have technology available to us today where we're on this IG Live for free. It's costing nobody to be here to get nuggets like this. This didn't exist, man. Fortune 500 companies didn't have access to this type of technology, this type of information 10 years ago, 5 years ago, where it just started happening. So today, there's no excuse not to get the information. So you can get the information. Like, people became my mentors, but they didn't know they were my mentors. And it was through books. Right. It was through, you know, look, back then I was broke. So I would sneak into, I'm not recommending this, but I would sneak into events, you know, that you know, cost money. But, or I would go to those hotels where I knew they were happening, and I would stand outside the door and listen in through the door. I mean, and I would drive my Pontiac 2000 two-tone, one-tone rust, one-tone dirt that could barely, you know, it barely drove. And I would sleep in my car, and I'd wash up in the hotel bathrooms. And, you know, I just knew, man, I knew I had to make the changes. So I created mentors that didn't even know they were my mentors. I started picking, I had a mentor later on who became a close friend. He said, find someone that has what you want, find out what they did to get that thing, and then do that thing and keep doing it until you get it. Not until it gets tough, not until, you know, the weather turns, or your best friend's cousin sister tells you it's not going to work, or you're not this or you're not that. You just keep doing it, keep doing it. I was so determined not to stop. So I'll tell you, those are the two things. Find some good mentors. You got them through, like, Instagram. I love Instagram, man. You can find mentors through Gary V, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone's probably doing a live right now. He's probably taking our people away from us. You know, so you have all these, you have all this access to all this information. That's where it starts. Information. Change your brain, change your mindset, and then everything goes from there. Because I'll tell you one thing about this that made the biggest impact is that I was so concerned about my results, which were terrible. My results were horrible. But then I had John Maxwell come into my life, and John Maxwell said, look at the result. That's fine, but don't stress there. I have no stress in my life because I work backwards now. I looked at my results. Where did my results come from? My results were coming from my actions. My actions were my behaviors. My behaviors came from my attitude. Everyone says you should change your attitude, but that sounds great, but it's not easy just to change your attitude, even though you can. But most people can't until they go further back. Their attitude comes from their beliefs, and their beliefs come from their thinking. So if we want to get people out of prison, we want to change our society. You know, we got millions of people being locked up every single day. We got people addicted to drugs more and more every single day. All these things happen. We're trying to punish their behavior or change their behavior or change their attitude. No, you change the thinking, and then all that stuff changes. When I got that, I'd never have stress anymore about my results. Every day I focus on, how do I work on this? How do I get my thinking right? And just for today, I just got to get my thinking right for this morning, and then this afternoon, and then this evening. I can do it one step at a time, one day at a time, and then everything starts to change. You're a completely different person in a year from now. 5 years, my mentor said, give me 5 years and it's over. But watch this, man. This stuff speeds everything up. We have acceleration, everything. What took me 5 years to do, someone listening here right now could do it in the next 24 months. I mean, it's crazy. Everything's sped up today. So you can speed up your own success ratios. You can speed up your own significance today because we have more tools, more information than we've ever had.
I agree with that 100%. Let me tell you something crazy, John. Before we had this conversation about 30 minutes ago, I wanted to find out which one of my team members contacted you and found you and did that. Let me tell you the craziest thing.
Yeah.
You're part of a group that 27 other entrepreneurs are part of it. Did you know that you were the only one from that group that responded to our team's message? How crazy is that? You got 27. These are not random people, John.
Yeah.
These are entrepreneurs that are successful in their field in their own rights. Yeah. They may not all be billionaires, but they have success levels in their lives that they can contribute and serve other people, right? Out of those 27 in that group, you're the only one who has responded to my team. How crazy is that now?
You know, for me, this is my responsibility. Like, I don't have a choice because I had mentors that, you know, that taught me years ago that with great wealth comes great responsibility, and that whole pay it forward thing. You know, some people, like, somebody would look at this and say, okay, well, this is going to cost me whatever, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour of my time. And then they start to look at that and think, see, I don't see this as it costing me anything. I see that there's people on here. I don't know how many people are on here, but whatever it is, if there's 2 people on here, there might be someone just like me that, I don't know, something hit triggers. Something says, okay, man, I can relate to this guy, or they can relate to you. And all of a sudden, it puts them on a path. I can tell you what, I just recently got, someone hit me up for a major speaking, you know, I speak all over the world, and a lot of times I'll go to these places just to pay it forward. So I'll speak, and even on my own dime. I don't, you know, the money is not where I'm focused right now, but I had someone hit me up on a, you know, 20,000 people will be in that room. And it was the same thing. She told me the same thing, that I was one of the few people that responded. And I'm like, look, I'm doing this to give back. I'm doing this because it's now my responsibility. If someone doesn't want to listen, that's on them. But I have to do this. When someone invites me to get in front of their audience, to talk to their audience, I know there could be somebody on here right now, just like me, that's starving, that's looking for the answers, looking for the right person that says, man, if I can do it, you can do it. Your past does not have to equal your future. And I used to see so many of these big guys out there. They looked like swans on the lake. You know what I mean? They're all pretty and professional. I wasn't that guy, man. If you knew me back then, you probably would have never asked me to be on this for sure. But I felt like the ugly duckling, man. I felt like I was, you know, I was less than everybody. My self-esteem was low. And then I saw somebody on a stage that looked like me, talked like me, came from a similar background, and in spite of all the things that people told me, because, you know, your parents tell you you're great, right? Your parents tell you you can be this and you can be president, but you don't really believe them anyways. Sometimes it takes someone else that doesn't even know you that like I struggled in my spiritual walk forever, because people say you're going to hell. They don't even know me. Tell me I'm going to hell. And it was someone that said you're going to heaven. I'm like, oh, what do you know that the rest of these jokers don't know? I'm gonna start hanging out with you. And so sometimes it takes somebody, and maybe it's this. Who knows? It could be the next thing that we do. I don't know, but this is a part of what we're doing. This is a part of going to the next level. This is a part of becoming, you know, and that's what this is all about.
Definitely. I mean, we should do more of this stuff now that I have a little bit of more understanding of your story and what you. So tell us, what do you do with the Build Your Empire? What are you guys doing over there? I mean, I see your videos and it's like crazy. Do you guys sleep? Do you guys take days off? Like, are you guys on the 24/7 schedule? Because you guys are putting me to shame. I thought I do a lot of content. Compared to you guys, I'm like 0, not even at 1.
Man, build your empire is a beautiful thing, and we've got a great team, you know. So it's not me, man. I get a lot of credit, but my partner Josh Denny and I, and we have a partner Casey Adams. Casey Adams is, you know, he's 18 years old. We made an 18-year-old the CEO of our company, which people thought we were crazy for doing it. But I believe in this next generation, man. I believe in the energy of these young guys. They were born with these smartphones in their hands, man. They get this stuff.
I know. We gotta learn these things, and it comes to them naturally. They were like, this is normal. You don't know this? I'm like, no, I don't know this. We didn't have any of this stuff when I went to high school. In high school, I had a pager. The pivotal point of my high school, the best thing that ever happened to me, I had a pager, man. I saved up money for that like there was no tomorrow, and I lost it the next week, so I had to buy another one. So, but it was like
you were one of the
pager,
cool guys.
man, a pager. That's what we had. That was the technology we grew up in. Cell phone, that was like for big guys. That was like rich people. That was like fancy people.
I took one of those garage door opener things and I put it on my belt to make it look like I had a pager. I wasn't as cool as you were, brother.
I graduated high school in '99, and I thought I was cool when I got that pager. It was like cool. So it was a way for my family to be able to get a hold of me. So I was like, this is good. Now, if they need me, they can call me, and, you know, I go to a payphone and just, you know, put the quarters in there, call them back, say, what's up, what's going on? So that was, to me, was like really exciting. I was like, cool, they can get a hold of you.
My communication was, I hopped on my BMX bike and we yelled. We got in front of our buddy's house and yelled. And we went in the alley. We always met up in the alley. We had a spot that nobody really wanted us in. And yeah, my parents weren't around so much, so we kind of did whatever we wanted back then. But you know, anyhow, that's a whole nother story.
I got a question for you, John. What drove you for those 7 years that you were on your path? What were a couple of things that you referred back to support that belief that you had? Or was there a significant individual during that period that you went to that supported you the most? What were those 7 years like?
Oh, you see this
listen,
tier?
I got a lot of questions, so whenever you need to cut me off and I got to let you go, I know you're busy. So you just let me know. I'm going to take advantage of this time that we got.
Well, see this tear welling up in my eye. Those 7 years were brutal, man. Those 7 years were tough. You know, when I made a decision to become an entrepreneur, I thought everybody would be happy. I thought there'd be parades in the street. John Malott is going to do something with his life. But just like in the book Think and Grow Rich, what do they say? That the people that are
Those years
closest
were
to you.
very lean. They were
Oh,
very
man.
lean.
And it was the people that were closest to me that threw the rocks the fastest. They were the first ones to talk crazy, the first ones to say, oh, you're just this, or you're just that, or you're a high school dropout, or you're a criminal, all these different things. The people that, even to this day, the people I grew up with, the people I was closest with, they still have a hard time. You know, like if I offer them an opportunity, they spend more time evaluating it, doing feasibility studies. I'm like, I ain't got time for that now, man. That, you know, I was there, you know, I used to roll through the hood. I talk about my Pontiac 2000, two-tone, one-tone rust, one-tone dirt. And I was telling everybody, I'm going, man. You guys can stay here if you want. You can stay in this cesspool of a neighborhood. You can stay in this depressed, beat down environment all you want, but I'm getting out. But I want to bring friends with me. I want to bring people with me. And do you know, I help people make millions. I mean, I was in a company, my last company, we took it to $220 million a year. I helped over 600 people make 6- and 7-figure incomes. Do you know none of them came from my neighborhood? None of those were the people that I grew up with. None of those were family members. It's mind-boggling to me. The people that I took helped complete strangers, and the people that were closest to me. And it's a warning to those that when a friend offers you an opportunity, don't shun it because of the package it's delivered in. You know, just because, you know, like I always say, you know, I only hung from that chandelier one time at that party, but that's what all my buddies remember. You know what I'm saying? It's like the one thing we did better. They remember that Pontiac 2000. They remember. I used to have a Jerry curl, brother. I had a Jerry curl, and I was a complete mess, man. And people were running from me back then, but I made the decision that I wasn't going to live like this. But those 7 years, man, in 4 years as an entrepreneur, I didn't have a month that I made more than $1,000 in a single month for 4 years. But you started to hear what happened. But eventually, because I was so rough, man, I didn't have somebody that I could go to. I didn't have a rich uncle I could talk to. We didn't have the internet, man. We didn't even have this. I couldn't go YouTube, you know, some guy that could teach me how to build an e-commerce business. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have any of that. You didn't either. And so we depended on books and we depended on events. So it was the books I read, it was the people I met, and the events that I attended that separated me. Then I started limiting associations. Those very friends that kept throwing rocks, as they kept talking crazy, I had to start cutting them. I had to start losing. There were family members, man. I have family members that I could only spend minutes with because they would get in here. And when I figured out that I had to protect this more than anything else, I had to protect my own mindset because they were, you know how it is, man. Every day is a bad day. Everything sucks, and this isn't going to happen. And they were a drag on where I was going. I'm already prone to negativity. I don't need 5 other people around me that are negative as well. So I started avoiding these people like the plague. And then in that 7 years, man, it was a lot of ridicule. It was a lot of laughter. I was called so many names during that time. Of course, later on, even my brother, man, you know, unfortunately, I lost my sister when she was 21 to a heroin overdose. My brother to this day is a heroin addict. And even my brother would call me a sellout, man. I mean, we were at my cousin's funeral, and he was still calling me a sellout as his teeth are almost gone from drug consumption. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, why would you want to live like that? I'd rather call me a sellout if that's what you want to call me. But you know how many times I've been back in this neighborhood? You know how many times I tried to help you, but you took the money and you bought drugs with it. I could never give you money again until you clean yourself up. And so these people that were closest to me, they were the toughest, man. I had to get around complete strangers, and I would bury myself in books. While people were at the clubs, while people were messing around, I was reading John Maxwell. I was reading Napoleon Hill. I was consuming everything I could, morning till night. And then later on, it's funny, all of a sudden you're in a meeting or something, and you say something to somebody, and like, dang, I didn't even know I knew that. I was starting to impress myself. And things started to change, and then doors started to open, and, you know, it was ridiculous, man. And then, yeah, but 7 years, it was 7 years of pain, brother. Pain. And you
John,
know
what's your mission in life? What are you gonna do next
man,
5 years? What's your? I know you want to do a lot of stuff. So just give us the next 5 years. What would be different? How are you gonna impact the world? What's going on? And the second part of that question is, what can we do to contribute to that?
Look, I'm gonna help 2,000 people create 6- and 7-figure incomes from home. You know, it's already, for me, it's already a done deal. I've already seen it in my mind's eye. We helped over 600 people do it before. I'm disrupting right now the entire nutrition industry. I'm about to change the game. I am changing the game. We launched last month. We doubled what our projections were the first month. We did it again the second month in February. We finished up our second full month. We're going in. We're completely changing another entrenched, this establishment. Like when the taxi drivers, when Uber came, the establishment, it needed to be disrupted. It needed the entrenchment to be changed. So I'm doing that right now in the nutrition industry. So I'm excited to disrupt the entire nutrition industry. I can never do anything for myself. I do it for, it's always about other people. So I was doing a lot of mentoring and coaching. So what I tell people now is, look, you don't have to pay me anymore to mentor me, for me to mentor you. People pay me big money for me to mentor them. And I said, look, don't pay me anymore. Join me on my crusade. I will mentor you, but I will do it in real time with a real business. And instead of you paying me, I'm going to get you paid. So that's really what's happening right now. I'm disrupting the nutrition industry. And then, of course, with Build Your Empire, do you know the reach we have? We have about 1.5 million followers on Build Your Empire. Man, and probably 1 million of them are millennials. I love them. I love that energy, man. You take that young energy with mature wisdom and you put it together. We're connecting them with the Brad Lees of the world, the David Meltzers of the world, the Grant Cardone. We're putting them together with real mentors that have real opportunities, that are not just influencers that got popular because they made some cool videos that went viral. I'm talking about people that actually built real businesses, teaching how to scale, teaching leadership, teaching the fundamentals from Napoleon Hill. That's part of the reason is because of what you guys do. And so with Build Your Empire, we're going to take that. We'll take that to about 5 million people. We're now taking the Build Your Empire brand, and we're doing events now all over the world. We're partnering Anthony Delgado with Disrupt is one of my partners. He's Disrupt Puerto Rico, an amazing guy. Follow Anthony. We're doing a big event in Germany on March 23rd and 24th. So we're taking it to Europe finally, and then
Nice.
and we're going. I'm going into the Dominican Republic at the end of the year. We're going to be in California. We're doing a combined. You know who Drama is from Young and Reckless?
I've heard of them. Yes, I haven't had
another powerhouse. We're doing a collaboration with Young and Reckless on May 18th in Hollywood. We're going to do it a ridiculous event. So we got it. We're doing events, but we never sell anything at our events. We say, come, we're just going to give you value. When we put speakers on the stage, we put people in front of you, their job is real simple. You give everything you've got. You give everything you got. And we've got speakers lined up. Our last event at the Build Your Empire Mansion, I think we had 25 speakers there. Matthew Morgan was there.
I saw a couple of videos of it. Yes, I saw. And you guys had amazing speakers. I mean, they were world class. I saw some of the clips, and I was like, wow, this is cool stuff. So no, whenever I'm in LA, so when you get to the Hollywood, just let me know, or I'll coordinate with your team so I know exactly when you're coming, so we get together. But yeah, we definitely want to contribute to that. I see you guys doing great things, and I agree with you 100%. These millennials, they definitely need mentorship. And they need business plan. They need to be making money. If they make more money, finances is very, very important. If you fix finances, a lot of your other challenges will just automatically just go away. You'll be able to change your zip code. You'll be able to change your car. You'll be able to change your friends. And you'll be able to hang out with people at the other different calibers. And sometimes these events and these things, they cost money. So you got to be making good money so you can do this stuff so you can make more money. So to me, it's just a cycle. They got to go there. But you were talking about family members and friends, and Dr. Hill talks about it in his book. Most of the time, it is the family members and friends, the ones that you trust. Maybe you trust them on a personal level, but they got no business giving you business advice. So that's two different things. And I've seen a lot of people. I made that mistake for many years of my life. Just because we're friends and we grow up together, we went to the same high school, that doesn't mean I should learn stuff for business from you. That just means if my car breaks down, I can call you and you'll be there for me. You trust me. But business advice, two different things.
Oh, there's no question, man. There's no question about it. And I'll tell you, when you talk about money, money just makes you more of what you already are. If you're a jerk and you give a jerk money, you got a bigger jerk. But give a good person money. You know what you can do with my friend and mentor David Meltzer talks about going shopping. He said a lot of people, when they go shopping, they're shopping for the wrong stuff. They're shopping for Gucci shoes or whatever, which nothing wrong with that. I got some Gucci flip-flops at home, so nothing wrong with that. But he said, he just recently went shopping for two centers in Africa where millions of kids will benefit from the shop. So we can do a different type of shopping. Money allows you to open doors. Money allows you to do things. So money's not the problem. It's the wrong people with money that can be the problem. By the way, I'll tell you, on here, one of my guys, Cody, I see a bunch of my friends, Rosina is on here. Cody, you got to follow the flashlight guy too. Cody, he's a guy who gets it, makes millions of dollars of all things, marketing flashlights. I'm talking about all over the world, anything. If you use this, you come up with the right idea, you can build something amazing. I see my friend Terry Turner. I taught Terry Turner how to drive stick shift car in my neighborhood, in my Pontiac 2000 I keep talking about. So I'm talking about some of these people now, by the way, now people are catching on. Now people are catching on. Okay, maybe John Malott is something. It took 20 some years for some of the people from my neighborhood to, even give it a second look now. At a certain point, it's like it becomes self-evident. The same thing will happen for everybody that's listening in here. That doesn't matter where you are today. I had a mentor that says you don't have to be great to start, but you've got to start to be great. And you can do a little bit every single day, a little bit, and you'll separate yourself, because most people, they're not even trying, man. I teach my nephews and my children. I said, look, how difficult is it to win a race that nobody's even trying? We're so wrapped up in other people's lives. We're so worried about what other people think about us. Half the world isn't even trying. So it's impossible to fail here, man. Just make a decision and go, and you can find it. Look, is that the real Brad Lee on here right now? Look at my boy. You guys know Brad Lee dropping bombs. I love it. He's another guy. He's a guy who had me on his podcast, who believes in what we're doing. He helped promote
John, I think you should come run this Instagram, because you got more friends over here than I got. So I don't think you guys need me anymore.
No, man. No, man, you're doing it, man. I love it. I love what this is all about, man. And,
thank you so much. I mean, this is one of the things that I wanted to do, John. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill was the first self-development book. So I owe a lot of my personal development growth to Think and Grow Rich. So we came up with this platform, I don't know how long ago, it was like 4 years ago, and we didn't do anything with it for like, God knows, 3 years or so. Now past 8-9 months, me and my team, we decided, we're like, listen, we've been talking about this stuff. Let's just put some action into it. Let's just get people. And within the first month, I think we got like 30,000 brand new followers. So I panicked one night. I was like, we don't have any content. They're just following us. We got no. So I was panicking, trying to design things and put images up and graphics. I was like, this is out of hand. So a lot of people, I saw the true belief. I really believed in my mission when I saw a lot of other people that did not know me come around and help me on this journey. And I was like, whoa, just having that mission, how many people are just coming around, and it resonates with people. Other people want to help other people make money. It's not about how much they're going to get. It's how much can we get accumulatively together, so we could change all of our communities.
Bro, you got it. Look, you're doing it right, man. Have you had Brad Lee on here yet?
No, I'm gonna go back to all these comments. Every single person you name, I'm gonna send them messages, and I'm gonna get them on this platform.
Get Cody on here, the flashlight guy. Get Bradley. These are powerhouses. They're friends of mine, and I'm asking them right now. I bet they would put yes in the comments to come and join you. I believe in your mission, brother. I believe what you're doing, and I'm excited that you allowed me the opportunity to be part of it. And I love everything Napoleon Hill, man. The guy is, he's the foundation of all this. Every YouTuber who's doing personal development, every Instagram person who's doing personal development, this stuff comes from Napoleon Hill. And these were the OGs, man. They started this stuff. And we've got my guy Robert Hahn is on here. They've got a gym. They're helping me disrupt the nutrition industry. You got a ton of great people. I'm seeing their comments, man. So you keep doing what you're doing, brother. You're going to build a massive army of like-minded people that will march with you. The whole thing is stay authentic, man. Just be yourself, be who you are. Let people know you want to bring value to the marketplace. You want people, I already know when your team reached out to me, it was about mindset. It was about how do we help people get to the next level? You guys weren't saying, to boost your numbers or to help you. It was all about what can we do for the audience. So I like that. I believe in it. And I got your back, brother. I hate to cut us short though, but I do have another meeting I got to get into.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, John. John, this was fantastic. I'm gonna go have a talk with my team, and we're gonna get together. I will DM you. You let me know how I can help your platform. Whoever you got, whatever I need to do. I'm in LA, so use me, abuse me. Tell me what you need. We'll definitely be there. Me and my team are there.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna put in here my well, you have my Instagram, right? I'll just put it in.
I got your Instagram. I'm gonna put it on the post. They're gonna edit this video. They're gonna put it on IGTV. I'm gonna tag you, and I'm gonna send you the link for it.
Cool. John.Malott on Instagram, and then Build Your Empire on Instagram. But I appreciate you, brother.
Everybody knows the Build Your Empire.
Yeah,
you got 1.5 million. Everybody knows what's up, man. John, you're on the right path, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much that you took this time out of your busy day being with us. God bless, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.